Hey guys, today we have a very fun topic to talk about, tournament performance. Now, within tournament performance, there's hundreds of factors of why sometimes you play better and sometimes you play worse in a tournament. Out of each of these factors, there's also subcategories within those factors. So tournament performance, one of those factors is adjusting to playing conditions. And within adjusting to playing conditions, there's also many factors within that. And the topic that we're going to talk about today, that I said is a very fun topic, is adjusting to playing at high altitudes. So during my playing career, I played about 400 tournaments throughout North America and worldwide. And one of the factors is adjusting to different altitudes. So here in Ohio, it's 1,000 feet elevation. If I go and play at a different location that's 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 feet elevation, it's one of the factors. It doesn't mean I'm going to play bad or good, it just means there's an adjustment that needs to be made. And today I'm just going to take a couple minutes of your time and explain to you some of the factors that you're going to have to adjust to if you're playing a tournament at high elevation. First thing is that some people adjust faster than others. People who have better timing, people who have better technique, typically have a more adjustable stroke, and when they're playing in different places, they can adjust as well. People that have a little bit sloppy timing or a little bit less than ideal technique, they can make it work, but the timing becomes more sensitive when they're playing in less than ideal conditions. So the better your technique and timing is, the more easily you can adjust. So realize that different people adjust differently. The next thing is the adjustment time. From my experience, I felt that it takes about 1 day per 1,000 feet elevation. So here in Ohio, the elevation is 1,000 feet. In Las Vegas, the elevation is 2,000 feet. So if I have a tournament and I'm going to start on Wednesday, I need at least 1 full day of practice. So I would need to arrive probably Monday night, have a full day on Tuesday to practice, and then start my tournament on Wednesday. If I was playing at 5,000 feet, that's 4,000 feet difference, it would take me about 4 days to adjust. If I'm playing at 3,000 feet, it would take me about 2 days to adjust. So typically from my experience, the adjustment time is about 1 day per 1,000 feet elevation. How it works. Why does it take time to adjust, and why does the ball bounce differently? Well, the air is thinner, so instead of the ball having as much arc, because the air is thinner, the ball travels straighter. It travels further and it doesn't have as much curve to it. That's why if you hit a baseball in Colorado, it's going to travel further with the same hit than it would travel in Ohio. So that's why we need to have some adjustment, is because the ball goes faster through the air and it goes straighter with less curve. Same style. So I'm going to recommend a few things that you need to do to adjust, but the main thing that you have to remember is that you've played your whole career, whether it be 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, with this style. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to completely change your style. Some people will play a tournament in Colorado and they'll say, well, I guess I'm just going to go out there and become a smasher. It's like, well, you've been looping for the last 20 years, so you should probably keep looping, as opposed to thinking that you can totally revamp your style in 3 or 4 days. The next thing is what to practice. First thing that you need to be able to practice is the timing. Your hand should really be staying in front until the ball crosses the net. As the ball crosses the net, then you can swing back. So the ball is faster. So if the ball is coming faster, doesn't mean every ball is coming faster, but the typical shot is coming faster. So what does that mean? You need to have an adjustable stroke. Sometimes you can't take quite as long of a swing. Sometimes your swing is going to have to be more compact. If you still try to take the same length of the swing that you're used to taking, the ball's coming faster, you're going to hit your edge because you're going to be later. So make sure that you adjust the timing. Spin. A lot of people think that at high altitude, well, the spin is not really a factor because the ball goes straight. The spin still is a big factor, it's just it doesn't have quite as much curve. So you still need to focus on spin, because spin is really what gives you control. See, the misperception is that spin is used to trick the opponent. It could be, but spin is also used to give you control. So regardless if you're pushing or looping, whatever, even at high elevation, generating spin is still critically important. The next thing is shorter. You need to make sure that you're physically trying to loop the ball slightly shorter on the table, especially in the first couple days when you're doing forehand loop and backhand loop. A lot of your balls are going to be going too deep. So make sure that you're not looping deep. Make sure you have a little bit shorter dwell time and you're trying to make the ball actually go shorter on the table. The next thing is serve. your serve is going to have a tendency to go too long. Even if you're serving, trying to serve short, a lot of your serves are going to go too long. So instead of impacting the ball down into the table with as much force, you may be forced to float the ball up just a little bit more, so you have a little bit more of a slow short serve as opposed to your typical fast short serve. And the last thing is serve return. Realize that your opponents, they too will have trouble serving short. So you need to make sure that you practice looping a lot of long serves and looping a lot of half long serves, because the opponents that you're playing against have the same problems as you do. Last couple things. Give yourself assurance. How do you give yourself assurance? How do you have confidence? Sometimes it involves a little bit of trash talk against the opponent. So what I'll tell myself, instead of saying, oh, these horrible conditions, I hate playing here, sometimes I'll be like, see that other guy over there? He has a hard time adjusting to it. So sometimes a little bit of inward trash talk against the opponent, saying, man, this guy doesn't like this ball, or this guy doesn't like these conditions, actually gives you confidence to be able to play better. The next thing is, let it go. You're the one that signed up for that tournament in Colorado, or you're the one that signed up for that tournament at high elevation or whatever it is. So once you've decided to actually go, you need to be able to let it go. Every single time you miss a block, every single time you miss a push, you can't be making excuses that I can't play this place. You're gonna have to be able to let it go and focus on controlling your mental game, being able to play your best that you can play each point, and not crying the blues every time you miss a shot, blaming it on the altitude. And the last thing is, enjoy the challenge. This is good. It's good to be challenged with different opponents. It's good to be challenged with different altitudes. So look at it as a challenge and realize that even if you don't perform well at your first tournament, this is more of a challenge the next time you go. I'm Samson Nabina. For more free articles and videos, make sure you check out my website, samsonnabina.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.